What up, YouTube Digital? Done this video a few times, well, more than a few times. I'm a little rusty, but this is a response to Johnny-Ack 7078 in a predicament that him and his family got in. And first thing I like to see, dude, I didn't get trying to remember back. Did you file a police report on that? I would. I seriously think these guys are purse snatchers, and there's a couple reasons why. Maybe I'll get into it. But I like to see you do a little homework, a little project with your family. Everybody sit around a table, a piece of paper. Describe both of these people to, best you can, best, everything. Fold it up. Don't cheat. Don't talk to each other. Don't give each other hints or anything else. Fold it up. Then make a video and unfold them and give, the descriptions. And see how much they differ. Because of, people talk about, oh, you have to run and gun so you can learn how to shoot with your heart rate up and everything else. Well, one of the reasons why that is because when the adrenaline is overtaking your nervous system, it is having trouble processing other data. Like this. It's not just your heart rate, it's your vision. And, depending on everything else. Now, a couple key things that I heard in that was the bullshit story. That story, people will do things like that. It's kind of a Chester in a van. Hey, little girl, can you help me find my puppy? Is there my puppy right here? And as soon as the girl's looking at it, bing! It's a distraction deal. A lot of times the stories won't make sense. You kind of start questioning yourself. Is this guy on drugs? Is he stoned or is this pills? Alcohol? What? What the fuck? Your daughter was kind of like, I think if I remember right, she was saying like, I never got what the fuck he was saying or whatever. Yeah, that's the point. And I bet if you think back, he was handsy too. Like this, fucking. Two reasons for that. People need to watch this with fucking street people. When you got people that are all weird and they got their hands like this, they do it for two reasons. One, it's a distraction, just like your bullshit story. So now they got two things on you. And two, it's a lot. If you're moving hand, they can just throw punches, they can grab, they can do whatever. Now, if your hands are down to your side, they're somewhere else, or everything else, you're gonna see your shoulders move, your hips move, whatever. But if they're up here, that's it. People are pretty fast. Look at some of these boxers, man. They're like, bing. Muhammad Ali, shit, he's just bing, bing, bing. So, people need to really watch them. The other thing you said, you didn't see that other guy he came out of the middle of nowhere. Now, this is something that everybody should talk to their family about. If a situation like this happens, where, being a man, you have to step in and fucking, set shit straight. Your family needs to know what to do, especially if something like this was to come out. Because the last thing you need is to have to pull this, and now your family's in the way. So they need to know, they need to be behind you. And they need to be looking around. They need to be the whole time, bam, 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 like a sprinkler. Because if someone was to come up behind you, They need to warn you. Because you're going to be focusing on that person in front of you. So you don't have time to be looking back here. Someone needs to be watching that. Because too often, if there isn't a pre-planned accomplice, there's a homeboy. And that comes back to fuck people. The other thing is they could be calling the cops too. And they should. Yeah, this is just my little advice. If it came to the point where you had to pull one of these out, I would explain to my wife that she needs to explain to the operator how scared they really are. Just to help out legal issues later on. But one thing I agree with you 1,000,000% is people don't understand how fast these things happen. And I've rolled people before. I've done shit like this. I hung out with a gang. No, I was not in it, but I hung out enough with it that I was put in a gang book. I know how these people operate. These guys are gonna roll people. Like there's a female that makes videos on here with her husband and stuff, and a few times I've caught her kind of, acting all cocky because she carries a pistol, and that's the wrong attitude to have, because her pistol is not going to help her when a man my size punches her. Not going to do shit. And most attackers, as in rapists and shit, they're going to come out of the middle of nowhere. Just like that guy did, his homeboy did. All of a sudden he's there. What the fuck? They're going to do that. It's that easy. I have stood when I was cleaning theaters and stuff like that. There have been times that I've stood in theaters where employees were fucking sweet. They never saw me. The whole time I was standing right there, and they never fucking saw me. And they walk right past and fucking on the way out, and I'd say, son of a fucking bitch. I'd be pissed because if they didn't see me, so how the fuck did they... So I'd have to go recheck that whole fucking theater, because if they missed me, goddamn, they must have missed popcorn. Sure enough, they did, but people get tunnel vision even if it doesn't seem like it's this. They might get their blinders. There's all sorts of things. But I recommend when people are walking, especially at night, they need to have the vulnerable ones in front of them. And the reason is you can keep an eye on them better. It's not the best way, and some people don't like that. Some people say, no, put them in behind, but you don't have a rear view mirror on yourself to be watching back there. So I put them in front. They need to know what to do if something goes down. They need to know if you say run, they need to run. They need to get the fuck out. And, you stealing my paper? Well, hurry up. Steve? Oh, it's just 2 papers. Take a paper on my printer. But anyway. The other thing, I really, 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 really think too many people buy these for self-protection, which is good, except for in almost every state, if you're not in your house, this thing can be pretty much useless most of the time. If you have a scale here of perfect normal life, nothing wrong, to you're dead from a criminal, this thing right here only comes into play right here. But from here to here, if you even talk about it in a threatening manner, if you brandish it, you could go to fucking jail or prison for it. And people don't realize that. I'm going to attach a video, and I know it's by Yeager. It's a, I know people don't really care for him, but I wasn't over there, so who am I to condemn a guy that went over there? I'm not saying no one else has the right to. Find it a little odd, but this video is good. What he's talking about is good. If you were a 30-year-old guy and a 22-year-old guy comes up to you and bitch slaps you, you don't get to take out one of these and fucking shoot him. And I'm glad people are arming themselves to save their life. But as far as arming themselves for self-protection, well, self-protection is a total deal. It's your house, it's cameras, it's lights, it's cutting the bushes so they're not tall. It's making sure you have the right locks so someone like me can't bump them. It's a total fucking system. It's not just this. It's funny if people do this WROL bullshit, but the reality is what happened to you is what happens every day, every city, every hour, and is a real threat. People plan for fake bullshit that has less than 0.5% of the chance of happening, but they don't prepare for the real stuff. So they'll run and gun, they'll go do all this other bullshit, but if it came down to it, and if I was an attacker in front of them, and they weren't illegally allowed to use this, I could sit there and bitch slap them all day long until the cops come and got me. And there wouldn't be anything to do because I'm not doing enough to threaten to kill them. As far as legal. Or they can be Zimmerman and be going to prison. And there's a lot of CCW owners that are going to jail and stuff because they've used their weapon. Matter of fact, that kid I made a video for that Don't Rob Me brought the gas pump. Someone doxed him, and it turns out that kid brandished a weapon into a crowd of people and got his CCW taken away, and I believe he got a felony. I'm trying to remember who doxed him. Whoever it is, if they can send that video or whatever, I don't mind redoing it. But anyhow, Krav Maga, Haganah, both styles of decent fighting systems, boxing, a real MMA fighter, not the 18-year-old kid that opened up the gym in a town of 5,000, a real one. I would stay, and I'm not talking directly to you, Johnny, I'm talking in general. I would stay away from general martial arts, and I'm not against martial arts. I like martial arts. I think it's cool. I've been on the street long enough to know that most of it doesn't work. And there's a problem right off the bat with martial arts. Martial arts is, you get taught honor and stuff like that. There is no honor out there. guarantee it, there's no honor. If I get in a fight with someone, I'm not even going to sit here and lie about it. If I need to grab someone's fucking nuts, to get them the fuck off of it from choking me or whatever the fuck, to even win the fight, I'll do it. I don't give a fuck. I'll openly admit it. I have bit people. I have fucking stuck my thumb in their eyes. You know, I don't give a fuck. If it comes down to that, you know, I don't give a shit. And I'm not talking about like life or death. I'm just talking about if it like goes from up here to on the ground, I'm gonna win the motherfucker. And that's how it is. There is no honor. There's nothing. So I'm also, if I can find a video, I'll touch another one about martial arts, about people who really know their shit. These guys are the real deal. I mean, if you don't even recognize them from Hollywood movies, I mean, it'd be pretty sad, but martial arts is great, but there's a lot of things that people don't understand, like those fake bought black belts. 6-year-old kids fucking are in their second degree black belts.